Part 5, legs and underwear. Okay, so we take our other piece of wire and basically I've just sort of marked the middle here, and I'm taking some of the flesh coloured wool there, and I'm turning the ends of the wire over, but I'm turning them over more than I did for the hands because this is going to make the feet, so you want them a little bit bigger, and it also helps to make them a little bit more stable if the feet are bigger. So I know roughly, here we go, we're marking the middle now, so I know roughly where the middle is. Like that. Doesn't have to be too brilliant, just need to know roughly where the middle is. There we go. And then we're going to start winding the flesh colour, because this particular woodland folk I have decided will have bare legs, and I've got an idea for making that look nice. Now I've taken the wire and I've just wrapped a chenille stick pipe cleaner round it. It just helps making it easier to hold, to get for the wool to hold, and it also makes the leg that bit stiffer. So there we go, and we take a piece of the wool and we just start wrapping at the ankle. I'm not wrapping the foot because that I will do something different with to make shoes and or boots or whatever I decide to do. So we just wrap it round. I am using a carded wool for this, although you can use a tops. It's easier to wind the tops, but I think you get a much smoother finish with the carded wool, so that's why I choose to do it. It's a bit harder to wrap, but you know, it's okay, and you can get a much smoother finish, more skin-like, because that's why we used it for the head and such like. So there we go. So I'm just winding it till I get to the end of that piece. The one thing you must remember when you're winding is always to wind in the same direction. So when I put the next piece on to go down to all the way down to the other foot ankle, I do need to make sure that I remember which way I was winding it, and wind it in the same direction, because if you try to wind over the top and you wind in a different direction, you will basically unwind what you've already done. It's just the way it works. So there we go, just checking that I've got the middle in the right place and I've got the 2 feet there, and this is what's going to happen. This is going to fit into there where we've got the wire. I'm going to push it well up into the body, and now I'm turning the feet up and just checking that they are level, which they are, so that's good. And just giving it a bit of a little bit of stabbing there. I'm just checking again, because I like to check more than once, and push it well up, and just checking there to see that she's going to be the height that I want her to be, and she's not going to be a long-legged beastie. So there we go, and just needle felt the wool down a little bit to make it smoother, but we will actually be adding some more because her legs are very, very thin there. So a little bit more of the wool. I'm using quite a thin piece this time because I don't want her legs too bulky, because she's a delicate woodland folk. So I've decided she is going to be female, and we will just, you can see, if the wool breaks, then just finish that bit off and carry on. Get yourself another bit of wool and carry on winding. Just checking there which way I was winding, so I don't go in a different direction. Sometimes you have to look at it quite closely to work out which way you were going, especially if you've got it nice, fairly smooth. So yeah. And rolling it between your hands is another very good way of getting it smooth and also helping it to stay on. So we just continue here with the legs, another roll makes it, as you can see, the effect when you rolled it, how much smoother it looks. I'm just having a little bit of trouble with this pipe cleaner here, keeping it in the wire for the foot, but it will be alright once we start adding wool to the foot. And there we go, you see, it's turning into quite a nice smooth leg. And it's about the diameter that I want for so there we go. And now we just make the other one to the same thickness. Again, just checking which way I was winding previously, and you'd think it was very, very easy to make sure you're always winding in the same direction, but when you turn it round and, you know, such like, put it down to needle felt it and things, you find that it's not always as easy. You can't always get it, remember, so just try really hard. There we go. You can usually see it if you look closely enough. You can see which way it was wound. So. There we are, a little bit more. Using the needle basically at a 45-degree angle, so I'm not going to hit the wire. Or if you do hit the wire, it slides up the wire more than if you're going in at a direct angle. It also is less likely to attach itself to your mat when you're needle felting it at the 45-degree angle. So just rolling them, making them nice and smooth, as smooth as we can at this point. Yep, there we are. And I will actually do a bit more work on them to make them even smoother. But that's it, there we go. So now we've put them between those two wires, like we did with the arms, and we're twisting that wire really tightly. You want it very, very tightly twisted, and then just bend the remaining wire up the back, and that gives it a bit extra strength. And as you can see here, I'm pulling some bits of the wool down. Sometimes I add an extra little bit of wool from the body and covering up those ends, and I make sure that the ends are pushed well in so that they're not sticking out sharp ends. So I bend them a little bit so that they go right into the body, and here I'm just making sure that they are needle felted to the body. The legs are needle felted to the body there. A little bit of there you go, a little bit. There we go. And shape her. Okay, that's looking pretty good. And now I've got a piece of grey wool, because I've decided to give her grey underwear. There's two reasons for the underwear. One is you people do pick them up and look up their skirts, believe it or not, and also it helps to hold the legs where you want them. So you just attach it a little bit at the front, between the legs there, and then we tuck the sides in. It's a bit like a nappy, but we do change the shape and make it better. Now also the other thing about putting the pants on the underwear here is that it does actually give you more of a hip, because she is fairly straight, and it does help to give her a little bit more of a hip. Now you can see here I'm actually needle felting up where the legs are, but needle felting them into the pants into the legs a little bit here, and it helps to hold the legs where you want them and make them sturdier. Just tuck all the ends in. And needle felt fairly firmly around the legs so that it's going to attach. And make them more pant shape by going up at the legs, needle felting upwards. I was just testing there how firm the legs were, and it was feeling quite good to me, so I'm happy with that. And you can see here I am needle felting at an angle and going upwards, and that helps because you're catching the wool from the legs as well, and into the pants and into the body, so it's holding the whole thing together. Yeah, and you just keep felting. You want to make it fairly smooth, and you want to make it the shape that you want it, and also to make sure that the legs are nice and firm where you've got them, and basically just needle felt it until you're happy with it. And it's got a lot better now, the firmness. And also, because we're going to glue into a slice of wood, if you stand up holding the feet like that, then it will be okay.